Hello, my name is Karis Johnson, and here today I have Ala, who is actually on this men's soccer team here at McKendree, and today we will be talking about burnout. So, Ala, have you ever experienced burnout?
I have. I experienced burnout this season actually. I don't know if the reasons are the same as everyone else's for usually experiencing burnout, but I came to this season motivated to play, really motivated to play. I was injured my sophomore year for the whole year. I tore my ACL, so I was extremely pumped to play this season. Preseason went well, but I ended up picking up a little nick. And as motivated as I was, I kept on playing. So the injury got worse and worse. And it got to the point where it started to affect my performance, but I didn't want to stop playing. So I was never 100% when I did anything, whether it was sprints or lifts or anything. And even in the games, I wasn't at 100%. And that started to frustrate me because I knew I could do better, but my injury was holding me back. And as the games went on, I just started to get more and more physically and mentally tired. And although I could say I still love the sport, I was just tired and I was just burned out.
When you say tired, what do you mean tired?
I was just fatigued both mentally and physically.
Okay.
I think I started experiencing symptoms of burnout. I just was not as motivated as I usually would be to go to training, just knowing I'd be going through something that would just hurt a lot. I was sometimes in a lot of pain, so it kind of prevented me from sleeping, so I wasn't sleeping as much as I should have. And this sort of just made me feel like I just had to count the clock until the season ended, and I've never actually felt like that for soccer. And so that's kind of when I realized I was burned out and I kind of needed a break from the sport. And our season ended, so here I am.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi everyone, I'm Evie Guerin.
I'm Dana Schoenbacher.
We're going to talk to you a little bit today about some burnout related to sports here at McKendree University. So, Danny, you used to play softball here at McKendree, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about what your experience was and how long you played the sport.
So, at McKendree alone, I just played 4 years here. I finished my eligibility in the spring. Before that, though, I played 4 years of high school, and then I also played for the time that I was 7. So, total, I've played it for 15 years.
Wow. So 15 years playing the same sport. Did you ever feel like, over the course of that experience, that you wanted to stop playing?
Yes, for sure. Honestly, I usually felt it once a season. Like once I got towards the end of a long season, because for softball, I would play throughout the summer, into the fall in junior high, and then I would play from January into August during high school, and then here it's year-round.
Okay, so you were playing all year at McKendree then. So what specifically, was there like a trigger for the burnout? Or you said you felt it once a year.
Mm-hmm.
What time of year was it? Was it during the competitive season? Was it during training?
At McKendree, it was usually in the fall because we have a fall season, but the fall season really doesn't matter. So usually right after games, we were still kind of practicing, still doing things, and it was like, okay, like, what is this practice really for? And now obviously it was for the spring and to better yourself for the spring, but it was like, okay, I have numerous other things that I could be doing right now besides just being here.
Sure. So say a little bit more about that then. How did it relate to like your other tasks? If you were feeling really burned out playing softball, did it bleed over at all to school or academics or social life?
It for sure did. So, like with softball, I would get super tired, and then I wouldn't want to do my homework. I wouldn't want to go to class. I would just want to sit in my room and either sleep or just not do anything. I didn't have much of a social life, minus having my friends on the softball team. Like, I don't have many friends outside of softball because of that, because you're just so busy with a college sport that you don't have time for other things.
Yeah. So then, if all of that, I mean, if the burnout is trickling into different areas of your life, what were the top 3, let's try to think about maybe 3 things that you utilized to help you get through that slump every year? If you made it all 4 years, what were some like overarching themes that helped you get through it?
So each year after the fall season and the spring season, the NCAA requires 2 weeks off. So during that 2 weeks, I wouldn't do anything softball. I wouldn't lift, I wouldn't run, I wouldn't throw, I wouldn't do any of that. Those 2 weeks alone were enough to help me get like reset and refocus that I could make it another season. And there was enough that I didn't feel it once we started again.
Felt fresh start.
Yeah, so that was one. The second one would be the start of the season, because that's always like a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Each season was always new. We never really knew what was going to happen. And then our junior year, we got new coaches, so that was probably the third one. So, you know, they're very young. They were very intelligent. They played at Mizzou, so they knew a lot of things that our old head coach didn't necessarily know.
Mm-hmm.
So we were constantly learning, and that was something that I really enjoyed because it was something new every day to do.
That's awesome. Did you feel like there was burnout among the team members too? Like, was it kind of contagious? Like, if one person was feeling burned out, did it maybe come back around for you, or were you able to just kind of be on your own in that regard?
I think it did a little bit, especially early on in my career, like my freshman, sophomore year, just because we weren't very good those years. So, like, once somebody said, oh, I'm kind of tired of this, then other people started to feel that way too.
Sure. Contagious a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your experience with how you were burned out, and hopefully some of the topics that we talked about in regards to finding new ways to stay interested in your sport and taking some time off to recover can be great ways for us to move through burnout in the future.